A lot of us, including me, I stream music all the time. However, music preservation and owning my own library of titles, it's very important to me. I love having discs, and I still have CDs. I was buying CDs when everybody was like getting rid of their CDs. And even when the whole vinyl craze started, people started buying vinyl. I started buying CDs again. Digital streaming is great. It's very convenient. You get pretty much a whole library of stuff and new discoveries that of music that you can get at the palm of your hand. You don't even have to store them in your phone. But if a digital server goes down tomorrow or a company decides to pull an album, how much of your favorite music disappears forever? One of the things that's very important to have in mind, it's you buy a digital album or stream it on Spotify or Apple Music, you don't own the file. If the platform loses that license of the rights, that music vanishes from your library. And I bought a lot of titles, and for the life of me, I don't remember all the titles that I have bought. Like there's probably stuff in there that already got erased from the platform that I paid for and I don't have. You get mixes that are heavily compressed, or those modern style bass heavy. I love preserving history of artists that you love and albums. Not everybody it's Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and Iron Maiden and Taylor Swift and what I mean by that, not everybody is a big artist like that. There's certain artists that did not have the same amount of exposure, and owning a physical copy of their album is a way to preserve it. So if music only exists on a server owned by two or three massive tech companies, they control history. And if an artist gets dropped by them or a label goes under, the art can literally be erased from the cultural record. The way that song was recorded originally is part of what makes it special, is what is part of the whole art of making music. You're too dependent of the algorithm. Like you put on a song. How many of you have found yourself listening to the same mix, almost the same songs daily, because you just push your remixes, your mix, or your list, and you just go through the same songs. You don't listen to a whole album. So streaming is like it turned music into background noise, and it's just curated by bots. Putting a physical record, tape, CD, get the whole picture of what the artist intended. I love vinyl records for that reason. Like CDs, it's very tempting to like skip the songs. Digital, everything that's digital is like that. But when you put the needle on that album, when you're playing vinyls, it's like you made a commitment to listen to that album. And it's not impossible. You can skip through the tracks, but it's harder to do, and it's something that you don't want to do. Like if you're trying to save on your needle and don't damage the albums as much, you enjoy the music more. It's a commitment you make. Sony controls a lot of the studios and controls the distribution. Has actually deleted even movies that you own, that you paid for. You're not able to use them anymore. PlayStation is deleting 551 movies from customers' accounts, reminding us nothing digital is ever truly yours. Now, PlayStation, of course, is a gaming platform. However, Sony is the parent company of PlayStation. Of course, it's Sony PlayStation after all. These were movies that they're not going to be offering them for sale anymore. And also, they will not be available to users who purchased them, who paid full price for these movies to own them, to have them in their library with the promise that whenever they wanted to watch these movies on the Sony PlayStation, they could, because you know that the gaming devices are nowadays kind of like computers for the living room, so people watch movies on them, music, they consume music and other media. And this is very alarming, and it's not a couple of them. It's 551 of them, and you're not getting reimbursed. You're not getting back that money. And who's to say that that cannot happen to music, to albums, to matter of fact, it happened to me already. Like Google used to have a store named Google Music, and you could upload a lot of your music from your hard drive, but also you could buy music on their website. And eventually, Google did a whole they wiped that platform out, but they changed it to YouTube Music. Now, this in order for this to happen, if you wanted to preserve your music, you had to go manually and do it. And they did give a notice for that. But back then, I was using Apple phones, and yet every now and then I will check my Google Music library, but I was not aware this was happening. So when I changed back to Android phones, I was more into the checking everything on the accounts and in that platform. I noticed this happen, and it had happened months before I got into using the platform again, and I lost in all the albums that I had purchased on Google Music, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it's not even like obscure movies, which I think it would have been even more tragic. But it's even movies that a lot of people would buy, like Terminator 2, like Rambo: First Blood, Bridget Jones' Diary. I mean, a lot of movies. And this was recent. This was just June 26th. Sony is contacting PlayStation Store users who bought movies from the platform that were distributed by Studio Canal, like Terminator 2, Total Recall. It's a pretty famous one too, and Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, to say that you will no longer be able to access your previously purchased content from Studio Canal, and it will be removed from your video library. There's no mention of any refunds or make goods for the affected users. Sony simply says the films are going away due to our content licensing agreements. Once again, reaffirming the fact that you are never truly buying anything that's digital, just temporarily renting it or leasing it. That's like the worst case scenario for your library. Even if you like the convenience of owning these movies in digital form, so you can access them from everywhere, which I've used this services like that. It's great to have the DVD or the Blu-ray, even better. Blu-ray is preserved even better. So I mean, nobody can go into your house and just, yeah, they can steal it. But I mean, like a company kind of just say, give me your Blu-rays and DVDs because we lost our licenses. That's not something that's gonna happen. Sony again said that they're announcing that physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on the PlayStation consoles. Now, why is that important to us? I mean, yeah, I like video games too, but for us musicians or people who love music, love listening to music, love the arts, well, it's because, like I said before, Sony is one of the biggest distributor or makers of actual physical media. They have pioneered a lot of the mediums that we've been using. I'm not sure if they started the CD. I don't believe it was Panasonic, but the thing is that they were huge in pushing it. They were big in pushing for the DVD and especially the Blu-ray. They were very behind the Blu-ray. They created other stuff like the mini disc, which I have two of them. That didn't take off, but I mean they've been the precursors of the physical media. They made the original Walkman, right, which was the cassette player that you would put your cassette in and walk around with it, listening to music. So them not making this anymore is a big deal. Even if it says for games there, movies are even more behind. Like they don't. I don't think they care about movies anymore. Just like you going to the movies and watching their Spider-Man movie or whatever they produce. They do want you to do that, but they don't want you owning the media because they want to resell it to you every time that they can, right? And this is nothing new in Hollywood. They have always been like an agenda for you to like not own your entertainment, just always be leased. And by the way, when they did those digital sales, they did it on the premise that you were buying them, like the movies that they just deleted. They are closing a platform of two video games that they used to have, the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita, which means that people will no longer have access to those games either. So whatever you buy digital, you pretty much lose it eventually when they shut down the servers. Also, that's just me thinking, they don't want to make CDs anymore, Blu-rays. Of course, there's a big push right now for vinyl records because there's a big demand. You can see an article here from 2025. Physical music sales, nostalgia spawned retro-inspired hardware, right? And one of the biggest stories of 2025 for those looking for something outside of the geopolitical arena was the continued strength of physical media sales in the music industry. Sure, most people listen to music over a streaming service. Spotify is in the little danger of folding, but in this golden age of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, sales of records in the US rose by 8.6. That means 2025 marked a 19-year consecutive years of growth. And that's not counting all the vinyl that changed hand in used record shops. We even got tiny vinyl, an all-new record format designed to scratch the itch for exclusive single tracks. So even though there are sales of, there's people that are buying physical music because of this big demand. Well, these companies are businesses. If they see money, they will follow the money. But there's always been an idea of you, like I said before, not owning the media that you consume. And if they stop making the discs, what's gonna stop them soon from making hard drives? Like recently, companies that were making the optical drive, which is the part of the computer that reads the discs, like CDs and DVDs, they stopped making them. Like there's I don't remember the name of the company, but there's companies that used to be their business model. They're not selling those optical drives anymore. They're not even making them. If your disc DVD player gets damaged or disc, and you thought you were going to put it on your computer, digitize it, or just play it on your computer, and you don't have one of these, you might be out of luck in the future. I mean, you can still get it, it's still getting around while they last, while they still have stock or in the used market. But aside from that, I mean, you're out of luck. A lot of these streaming platforms are either absorbing or merging with other companies that used to be the ones selling us the home versions of media for us to keep. But again, like I said, if the demand is there, they will follow the money. Like, that's why those are vinyl records. Those are brand new vinyl records that they are. I bought them at Walmart. They still are selling them after all these years. They started selling them again. So if we continue to support the demand of physical media, it will still be produced. It will still be made. Make it known that you want to own your entertainment, your media. At least me, I want to own the media I consume. I want to own movies that I pay for. I don't mind paying for a subscription and using it. I mean, we used to pay for rentals back in the day, for individual rentals, and we knew we didn't get to keep those VHSs or DVDs, even though some of you kept some of them. You were not supposed to. What I don't want is, like, first of all, lose the option of buying a movie and having it perpetually in my collection. A company telling me that they were sell me a movie, me paying $15, $20, and then I lose access to my collection, which is unfair. Support local artists. They usually don't get a penny from Spotify or these streaming platforms if they're selling any physical media, CD player, whatever, I mean, if you can do with your money what you will. But if you can, and you want to support these artists, buy their merch, buy their CDs. Even if you don't have a CD player, buy the CD, find a CD player, play it. Again, get one before they're out. I'm telling you, they're gonna stop making them pretty soon, if they haven't stopped already. And just keep the music alive. This is what it is about. If you have any questions for me, please leave a comment, subscribe, leave a like. Appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for listening. I'm gonna play myself out, and thank you.